When I look at the city, I remember all them nights of just dreaming. Being from Compton, you see the mountains, you see the Hollywood sign, you see downtown LA, and it seems so far away. This always seemed like the dream come true when you looked out at LA, not knowing that I lived in the same city, but being 15 miles away was like night and day. You forced to grow up fast. You forced to have a sense of protection amongst yourself and others at a young age. You grew up in kind of an aggressive environment, and that's what molds you. And you understand things that a young kid shouldn't have to understand, you know what I mean? Nowadays, I sit back and just watch my kids play because they never have to experience the things I have to experience. And, you know, that makes everything I went through worth it. I think for me, I've learned to stay at like an even keel. You know, you gotta learn to not get too high and not get too low. You gotta be able to walk in rain and not get wet. It's kind of like, you know, you put an animal in the jungle, they're gonna figure out how to survive at some point. It's gonna adapt to its environment. So that's the way I've learned to understand life as I got older.
You know, it was rough for him in the beginning because of what all went on, and when you've been someplace a long time and all of a sudden you're traded, that hurts. But he compartmentalized it. He came in here right off the bat and did his job. So, you know, he gets big credit for that.
You just look at life as it's gonna come. The good days gonna come, the bad days gonna come. So once you understand that, you'll realize that nothing is too surprising, because we all gonna feel some type of emotion, and every type of emotion at some point of life. We can't act like it's something new, because it's gonna be there before us and after us. You know, it's just a matter of how you handle it in that moment. So for me, that's just my kind. That's one thing I always noticed from all the great individuals that I was around, was they kept this kind of sort of calm to them. And, you know, you always wish to have that type of swag. So, you know, for me, that's something that I always kept with myself.
He's a pretty even-keeled guy, you know. He takes things as it comes. He's got his priorities straight. You know, his family and kids are the most important thing to him. And he does his job well, and then he enjoys people. So he's been great for us.
He's just as real as he gets. He's always honest with you. But not only that, he's a professional. On the court, off the court, his leadership is only growing by the day. You know, I'm just very blessed that I got to have him for, you know, the beginning of my years.
It's all about leading by example. You know, everybody can talk a good game, but when you go out there and lead by example, show your sacrifices. Everybody always see the good things that comes with, you know, being in the position that we're in, but being vulnerable and showing your fails, showing what it really takes, how to dig yourself out of a hole and come out better. You know, that's what it's all about, showing a lot of these guys, because they probably never been through some circumstances that you've been through. But as long as you could show them and they could see it and you could teach them, that could go a long way in shaping and molding the next generation of understanding how to avoid a lot of things that, you know, we sacrificed ourselves for.
He hasn't given up on anybody, and I think that's the most interesting thing about him right now. He comes and plays and gives it every night. He's patting people on the butt, and he's trying to encourage people in timeouts. He just comes and does his job and doesn't get down on anybody. So I think that's a pretty big part of his character that we really appreciate.
California in general is just known for having great talent, and DeMar is just one of those guys that worked hard. I mean, you know that LA is where he's from, and he represents them really well, and he always tries to come back and do what he can do here.
It's the greatest feeling, always coming back It's something that I never could put in words because part of the reason why I stayed at USC was if I had the opportunity to go to the NBA, it would be a good chance I probably wouldn't play home. So I wanted to enjoy the moment of being home as much as possible. So when I do come home and play, it just reminds me of everything. You know, my 19 years of living before I separated away from the city. For me, it's always an honor, a pleasure. It's always enjoyable. It's always bittersweet because you gotta come, then you gotta leave, but it's everything to me. Obviously, the guys that in homegrown that I grew up kind of idolizing was, you know, Baron Davis. I remember being a kid watching him play at UCLA. So many guys, man. Tayshaun Prince was one guy. I remember when he went to Kentucky, it was a big thing, him being from Compton. I used to play in his backyard. His dad and my dad was close friends, so being able to see him go from college to playing in the NBA was amazing. You know, so guys like that you was able to see growing up as a kid in your own community, you know, carried over a long way. I kind of keep that in mind every summer. I always work out at my high school. I let kids, high school kids, middle school kids always come around just to kind of just feel it, you know, to really have that belief like, you know, he comes around, I can make it out too, and I'm gonna do the same, but I'm gonna do it better than he did it, you know, and that's where it all starts from. So the older I became, from high school to college to first couple years in the league to even now, you know, you go through so many shapes and forms of life that you continue to learn that it's just not about you. You know, it's about shaping the next to come. You know, me being a father, of understanding how to raise your kids, how you want your kids to think, and instilling something in them that you wish you had, that you felt like could have made you a better person. You kind of want to give that off to the ones that's going to come after you. It shows you how far you came. You know, I remember just being a kid, really wishing upon a star. Now being able to come home, play in front of your family at the highest stage of basketball, and being an inspiration from the city that I come from, to inspire the next generation. You know, I went to college here. I went to college right down the street, you know, to playing in the NBA, being in my 11th year, being able to do incredible things. It's an honor, it's a blessing, you know, every day it feels surreal. And especially looking out at the city makes it even feel that much more surreal.